Welcome back, Truth Seeker. November 1st, 2019. I want to talk about this story that's on the front page of CNN this morning. A woman beneath a picture of a cross. The headline reads, "She was called the N-word and given instructions to slit her wrists. What did Facebook do?" So before we go into this story, I just want to revisit a similar story on the front page of CNN from October 18th, so 14 days earlier. Security guard fired for asking a student to not call him the N-word. The story was a student was calling him this and he asked him politely to stop. And for asking him to stop, the school fired him because when he asked him to stop, he repeated the N-word himself. And what I pointed out that day was October 18th, the day of the news story, was the day leaving 74 days left in the year. N-word equals 74. So does Madison, Wisconsin, where this happened. Supposedly, this took place at Madison West High School in Madison, Wisconsin. Notice Madison West High School equals 102, just like how when you write out the N-word, the actual word, it sums to 102, like the word slavery. And again, the American Civil War began in history April 12th, 1861. April 12th is the 102nd day of the year. In addition to this story, we've talked about reporting like this in the past. These similar types of stories have come up, but now we get two in close proximity to each other. And notice in the picture of the woman this morning, again, she's beneath a cross. The word cross, like the word Jesus, like N-word, they all sum to 74. And when you run the alphabetic order in reverse, they all sum to 61. And this woman's name is Aisha Odom, which we'll get to. Notice N-word and Odom both sum to 61, like cross. You see? Now it's worse. It's worse. So this is the CNN article. I'll just go to it. The opening paragraphs actually aren't about her. They're about bullying that's going on Facebook and how Facebook isn't cracking down enough on online bullying. That's the purpose of this article. And you have to scroll down to get to the part on Aisha Odom. It starts right here. It emphasizes, "I was scared." And it says, Aisha Odom, who received the message with the N-word, agrees. Odom, a mother of 3 young children in Austin, Texas, has urged others on Facebook to get vaccinated to help protect people like her brother, who has Crohn's disease and can't receive certain immunizations. She thought she'd become accustomed to anti-Vaxxer attacks, but in April, Odom logged into Facebook Messenger and read a message that made her feel physically ill. And then they show the message. "Can we immunize our babies from becoming ignorant ends like you?" And then, so anyway, notice how they also, in this story of racism and hate, then they connect that to people who are questioning vaccines, which is, that's propaganda right there. There's all sorts of people online who use the N-word because they're cowards behind the screen. Anyone who's ever gone into an online video game thing, since the early days of online video games, everybody wants to call everybody the N-word. It's an observation I made, 20 years ago, and I thought, what is this? Everybody online wants to use the N-word because they're hiding behind their computer screen? So funny how CNN chooses to tie it to anti-Vaxxers. And of course, the whole vaccine thing has been coded with the number 74, as we've been talking about as well. All the measles stuff, measles is 74. But look at this. Look at what CNN does. Let me come back to the CNN article again. You see how they emphasize "I was scared"? Look at what that equals. 102, like the N-word. Just like how in this story from just days ago, he works at a high school which equals 102. Madison West High School. The exact same thing. The exact same thing from the exact same media source. And in light of this story coming November 1st, this is front page news November 1st. She was called the N-word November 1st. Today leaves 60 days left in the year. With the alphabetic order, the N-word's 60. When you run the alphabetic order in reverse, that's where the N-word's 102. And that's why you have to know the alphabetic order and the reverse alphabetic order ciphers to see how the media fully contrives their propaganda. And it's not that there shouldn't be some sort of crackdown on online bullying and calling people the N-word. But the thing is, these same mainstream media institutions that code propaganda and do this sick type of stuff ritualistically, they're also calling for the crackdown of people like me. For example, if I put this video up on Facebook, it could very likely be banned. I've been banned from Facebook multiple times. I've lost 18 YouTube channels. I'm on my 19th channel, and I've never practiced any hate speech. All I've done is put out knowledge and information. So, the censorship that they advocate for, things like this, understandable, but really they want more. They want all things censored. They want people who question vaccines censored. And since they said she was from Austin, Texas, I just want to see in real time. I'm pretty sure Austin equals 42 if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it does. You see how Austin's 42? Let's just type in the N-word again. Again, these are the 4 base ciphers. The alphabetic order with the rules of numerology, the reverse alphabetic order with the rules of numerology. So the story comes on the day leaving 60 days left in the year. They code 102 into the story, and then they say she's from Austin. And Austin's 42. The reason I remember that is because I predicted there would be 5 bombs in the Austin bombing, which there was. 5's 42 like Austin. Let me just see what Austin, Texas is. Well, I don't see it with that one, but I see where they went with the Austin. So yeah, they coded, and it could, of course, 42 is associated with Black history through Jackie Robinson, who wore the number 42. Jackie equals 42 in the movie Jackie. It was criticized for using the N-word too much. And again, 42 stamped all over Black history. Black History Month's February, the month that sums to 42. You think about Black history on the bus is 42. You think about civil rights leaders like Malcolm X, 42. Martin Luther King Jr., Martin, 42, in the sitcom Martin, he lives in apartment 42. You think about Muhammad Ali, 42. And realize none of these men chose those names. They were all given to him. Well, some people say Muhammad Ali chose to change his name from Cassius Clay. It's not true. These people that you know about in the history books, they're part of the fraternity, Freemasonry. And, of course, Freemasons also 42. And Freemasonry is what uses this code of letters and numbers and controls media and government and police and et cetera, et cetera. So, Tuskegee, that's another 42. It's also 30 like the N-word, Huxtable, The Cosby Show. They did Bill Cosby by the number 42 a lot. Notice Huxtable's 42 and 30 like the N-word. A lot of overlap with Tuskegee, actually. Cosby Show. The list goes on. So many major athletes. They did a big N-word ritual on LeBron's house the other year. So many major athletes, 42. And for the record, in light of Jackie equaling 42, he's actually not the first black baseball player in white Major League. It was Moses Walker. If you go back and do the research on Moses Walker, 42, he played in the late 1800s. You'll also find out that he played in exactly 42 games before they took him out of white Major League Baseball. So, the powers that shouldn't be, they've always worked by this code. They've always spread racial propaganda by this code. And they've always done it through the mainstream media, which they control. And that's why this story is a perfectly coded ritual. Coming out of Austin, Texas on November 1st. So, we'll leave it there, Truth Seeker. Oh, and actually just one more point. In light of having her beneath a cross, remember, Jesus' physical description in the Bible, just using the alphabetic order. Jesus 74, cross 74, Messiah 74, Gospel 74, Parable 74, and the list goes on. In the Bible, the physical description of Jesus communicates that he has dark skin, and in Revelation, he has hair like wool, hair like white wool. And some people say, well, all they're trying to communicate there is that his hair was white when he returns in Revelation, but why say it was like white wool? Why not just say his hair was white? As far as I know, there's only one race of people that have hair like wool. So, and the other thing is that we continue to document over the years all the rituals they do that encode these same numbers, especially with young black male entertainers. So, we'll leave it there, Truth Seeker. Actually, just one of the most obvious examples ever. Machiavelli. Whoops, gotta spell it right. The way Tupac spelled it, the play on Machiavelli who faked his death. Machiavelli 74, that album cover, Tupac on the cross. Tupac 74 as well, so is rapper. You just had Kanye West release his Jesus album on the date with 74 numerology. Many examples over the years. So, we'll leave it there. Till next time.